If you've been thinking about taking up bonsai as a hobby, today we're going to talk about 3 things that every beginner should know. Hey friends, it's me here from a nursery. We specialize in growing and selling quality field-grown bonsai. I love this hobby and I really enjoy sharing it with others. So if you like what you see here today, please be sure to share this with your friends. All right, let's get into the video. So the first thing that every beginner needs to know is container, display, and health. This isn't one single thing, but 3 different aspects all rolled into one. And I think it's important because you have a tree, right? The pot is where the tree sits. It's kind of the stage for the tree. So we want to make sure that it's something that complements the tree. For example, take this Chinese elm. It's a small tree. It's got a lot of fine branching. So we want to put it in a smaller pot. A really big pot will make it look like the tree is drowning in the pot. You don't want that. So we want to choose something appropriate for the size of the tree. And if you have a larger tree, same thing. Put it in a bigger pot. The size of the pot will also depend on the style of the tree. Take a look at these 2 trees. They're both Chinese elms, but they're styled differently. This one has a more upright style. It's just growing straight up. This one is a cascade style. It's flowing over to this side. And so we would want to use a rectangular pot for this tree because it has an upright tree and we want to show off the vertical space that it has. Whereas this tree, because it's a cascade style, we want to use a round pot. That'll complement the curves of the branches. And of course, the color of the pot too. In general, for Chinese elm, Japanese maple, and other deciduous trees, we want to use a darker colored pot. Conifers, we can use either a lighter or darker colored pot, and it all depends on what look you're going for. So, for example, with this pine, I decided to use a white pot. With this spruce, I used a darker pot. What really matters is that the pot is clean. Make sure there's no debris on the outside of the pot. If there is, just take a cloth and wipe it down. It's not a big deal. And now that we have our tree in the pot, we can move on to the stand and moss. Okay, so the stand is pretty self-explanatory. It's just something that holds up the pot and we can use wood or stone. When you're choosing a stand, make sure you find one that matches the aesthetic of the tree. Take a look at this Chinese elm. It's a refined tree with small, delicate branches. I wouldn't put it on a rustic wooden stand. I would put it on a more refined wooden stand or even a stone stand. Now, when it comes to the moss, we want to make sure that we cover the top of the pot. One way to do this is by using a moss mat. These are easy to come by online or at your local bonsai shop. Another way is by using sheet moss. This is a little bit harder because you have to water it constantly to make sure it doesn't dry out. One last thing is the soil. Sometimes when you buy a tree from a nursery, they will give you this brown stuff. This stuff is soil. However, we don't want to see soil when we look at bonsai. It's kind of like weeds. We want to keep the weeds out. So to get rid of the soil, the best thing you can do is pour boiling hot water over the tree to kill all the weeds and then add some lava rock or pumice to the top just to make it look nice. Once you've done all this, your tree should look like this. Okay, moving on to the second point, health and refinement. This is the tree itself. How healthy is it? Does it have lots of leaves? Is the foliage a good color? Is there any pests or diseases? When you're looking at a tree, you should be able to answer yes to all of these questions. Let's take a look at this Chinese elm. You can see it's got lots of green leaves. There's no pests or diseases. Now, if you zoom in on the foliage, you can actually see the veins in the leaves, and that is a sign of a very healthy and refined tree. All right, let's move on to the next tree. You can see this Japanese maple has very nice red color to its leaves. Again, zooming in, you can see the veins in the leaves, and that means that it's a very healthy tree. Now let's take a look at this pine. It's got green needles. But if you zoom in, you can see the needles are actually yellow, and that's not normal. So this tree is not very healthy. And the last thing you want to look for is wire marks. Every time you prune a branch and you want it to turn a certain way, you'll tie a wire around that branch to force it into the direction that you want. And after a while, that wire will leave a mark on the trunk. You don't want that. You want to make sure that the wire has been removed and there are no wire marks left behind. All right, and the third thing that every beginner needs to know is patience. This isn't a quick hobby. You can't just learn everything in one day. You have to be patient and persistent. Bonsai takes time to learn. It took me years to learn how to do it. And even now, I'm still learning. Don't get discouraged if your first few trees don't turn out the way you want. Just keep trying and eventually you'll get there. I promise you that. Well, that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching. Be sure to share this with your friends. And if you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe. We make videos like this all the time, and we would love to have you here. We'll see you next time.